Morning, folks. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Last day left of the week. All right. Yesterday was an absolute banger. Hopefully, you stuck with the plan even after I got off stream. All right. There were still opportunities, at least twice, for that upside move if you waited for dips. Actually, straight after stream, we pretty much got it. And then some folks had a go at it towards the end of the day as well. All right, so as always, we're going to start off higher time frame, work our way down on a daily. All right, we are back inside this high volume node. All right, and importantly, we talked about this kind of level here as we come into 680, 700s. All right, if we think about how thick we are here, we can consider this whole range basically 680 to, I don't know, 520, 550. That whole range is basically point of control from this year. All right, that's the most traded range in here from this year. That's what we managed to get up and through yesterday. That's what the pullbacks are trying to hold overnight, and that's where we're at right now. Right, one thing I do want to say is we are back over, if we think about the anchored VWAP from the all-time high, if we think about the anchored VWAP from the July dip, and if we think about the anchored VWAP from the tariff low, all right, we're back above all of them now, all right, which is a positive sign for the market, at least in the near term. We're still coiling in terms of all the SMAs, right? Everything coming tight, and still we're going to get this kind of flattening out here, I would imagine, from these Bollinger Bands in the next week or two. One thing I do want to talk about on a daily is the double island that we potentially have here. We want to be very, very careful on the cash market, right? Because we had a gap up yesterday, leaving these weekly sellers, right? Sellers from this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, at the low, and we've still got these buyers from up here trapped at the high. All right, so we've left a gap here and a gap here. All right, we need to be aware of those. Need to be very, very, very aware of those. Not necessarily going to be the easiest job to get up to 730s, but we'll see. Lots of comments today. Remember, we've got news 9:45 and then 10 o'clock's the big one, Jackson Hole with Walsh. I will try and watch that with you. I do have to leave a little bit earlier today as I am on vacation early, which means when I send the newsletter today, it won't necessarily be complete. All right, so I'll send it, but you might need to adjust a few of the levels for the weeklies, as in for value. All right, here we go into the hourly. All right, remember yesterday, our main job, this was a blue box yesterday. I've turned it green because it's the expected move today. All right, our main job yesterday was to buy these dips and get up to 680. All right, we've completed that move, finished. The hardest job that we have today is the obvious move was this move yesterday. At least it was obvious for me. Apparently it wasn't obvious for some of you in chat who were trying to fade me. But that was the obvious move. The problem that we have as prop traders or as day traders is the best move right now is to still have been swing long down here and just try and let this work. All right. Being a new money long up here is not particularly wise. It's not the easiest trade. And that's the problem we have when we come to the market as prop traders or day traders. All right. So we need to be aware of that, especially on a Friday. Now, this is still intact. All right. We are still making hourly higher lows here in a potential, positive gamma channel, which is not that uncommon because we are positive gamma. But if we think about previous week, we are rejecting here. We do have a low volume node above it. And if you go to the week before, yeah. So it's a clear area here up into sort of 730, 750. So from the 680, which was target, you can see we do struggle generally to get up here. So if we're going to be buyers high today, we're going to need to see a big push on volume, all right, and then pull back and it hold above previous week's value area high, or at least previous day, and a reclaim of that for this then next leg into 800. So my targets today, if we can do that, and it will be, I will trade very small size for this today because I really don't love this setup, but it's potentially there, will be for that trade up towards 800, the next LVN, then this old point of control, 874, and then the expected move into 900. Now, if they really turn it on, if, Walsh is very dovish today, maybe we get back into the 30,000, which was the weekly expected move. Now, I'll remind you, in terms of the newsletter, we've basically done everything. All I said at the end of the newsletter was, if we get over 680, we can look for this and this. That's what we're asking today, right? But I would much rather have been swing long down here, trying to let that happen, than buying this move, right? If they protect 680s, even if we poke above, all right, and we come back under, maybe there's that sell side back down. I'd say under 680s, really confirmations under 630s, and then your target is back down into 580, 600, point of control for the current week. If we lose that shelf, right, and we stuff that, then there's the trade back down to 5 and then 4s, and if for some reason there's a melt, 3s, right? You need to be very aware of this move. That's why I'm saying I'm very cautious today. It might be that it's a no trade day for me, honestly. We will just have to see. In terms of gamma, we are positive gamma above 595, so just call it 600. We're above that. We are positive gamma. Don't move that, Alex. All right, so potentially rotation and grind. Rotation and grind, no way in positive gamma. All right, if we start losing 555s, right, then this move comes in a lot quicker. Okay, so just be aware of that. But we've done most of the damage this week already. All right, let's have a look at some of the broader indexes and what's moving. I'm going to move this to a 5-minute, and we're going to go through all these names quickly. Right, ES. I'm going to zoom you out. We're not too far from all-time highs. Right, we're not too far from all-time highs. We're currently only about 1%. It's really not a lot. All right, so what we're asking on ES is really have to ask, can we get back above here and build out? Right, or does it need to come back down again? Might not be today, next week, to do this kind of move. All right, it can still set a lower high here. This is the danger, right? It can still set that lower high here and come for that gap fill down here. So we are cautious when we're trying to buy and bid up here now. But in terms of the day, we are gapping up, but we're underneath the previous day high, so we're inside of yesterday's range. You can see these clear pivots yesterday, basically 730s down to 725s. All right, bulls want to step in and try and hold this level here. All right, and they will be looking to take out those 55s, and if they can take that out, up into fill some of this in, up into 65s, and maybe even 780s, which is where the cool wall is for today. You want to be very careful of failed breakouts though, all right, because we haven't washed. We washed here, but these guys haven't been washed out, and this is always the danger when we're buying high of this move here before they come back up for it, especially on a Friday, right? So just be smart. Spiders, got to get a move on, haven't I? Coming into that node as well. Opening with a gap up on spiders, that's positive. So maybe we'll look to see if cash wants to hold the gap. All right, either a gap and go or a gap fill and go. If we lose the gap, then probably more downside pressure to come. I'm just going to zoom this out. Yes, let's refine you a little bit here so I can see you on my side monitor. There we go, and you've got a flip. All right, so we see spiders are willing to hold 71s down towards 70s. If they can, then we're looking for the drive up, breakout through 72 30s, and then 775s. If we start losing 70s, then we're going to test zero line, and then maybe we might well start rolling over at least just of yesterday's range. Qs, looking pretty positive here. I'm going to remove that. Looking pretty good here. Again, it's just whether they want to take out this resting liquidity up at sort of 22s, this key target here. If they can hold dips over 19s, if they lose 19s like we talked about and starts to get a bit washy inside yesterday's range, it's not the nicest action if we do that. All right, VIX, would you believe it? Sub 15 now. I mean, this is quite incredible at this point. This thing's getting crushed in the lack of volume and volatility over summer. It's a warning sign for me. I'm just waiting for something to happen here. It does concern me a little bit. Dixie's coming back up, trying to get back up to that over-under. This is the key level. I wouldn't be surprised if we come for a test in the next session or two to see if they're going to rebid over it or not. If we look at the mags, climbing its way back out, that NVIDIA earnings really did mag a lot of good here. So maybe we flip this now and we ping pong between these now on the mags. All right, between 68, 80s. All right, this was the gap fill we talked about yesterday. We completed it. All right, maybe we ping pong here, just like this, build out that liquidity, or they snap it next week. All right, so that's what we'll be looking. Let's see if dips hold sort of 68s up to, don't do that, up towards 69s. And then if we break out through 69s, we can get going for this resting liquidity up at 69.70s, 69.5s. IGV, very, very, very strong off all the earning prints. All right, remember we've been swing long in this since April, all right, as an index plus individual names. So this one's really starting to pay. I'm getting ready to potentially trim some here and then wait to see if we rebase over 110s for new all-time highs. But fantastic trade for us in chat since April, which has been really, really nice. That's probably one of the bigger winners for me this year in terms of the ETFs. I mean, that's just beautiful, almost 50%, incredible. And it's starting to really get going. So we'll see. I am expecting a pullback soon, given, yes, we've had strength in the names, but you know, that's two days of like a really big push. So we want to be careful of that. SOXL, doing the dance, all right, it's doing the dance. We haven't really managed to get away from this 120 area, all right. We're going to open up at 120. That was your level yesterday. It's our level today, all right. We are actually in neutral gamma. This is quite big today for about a 10-point range, right? That's your flip zone. It's basically 25 to 15. Under 15's neg gamma, and it's a problem. Over 25, positive gamma, and maybe a grind. So this is a big zone, and we might continue to just rotate that on a Friday, especially until Walsh has finished his comments. Individual names then. Apple, nice comeback there from Apple. Gapping up today, looking strong, really good. I'm going to have to zoom this out. Where's this old Phil? Yeah, we're coming right into this 31685s. Over that, and we can have a go at those 320s. Looks good. It looks good. Remember, we're still long from, I don't know, it's been well over a year now, and we're up about $100 on that a share. Amazon, trying to find a bid here if it's zero line, but we have lost this range. I'd be slightly concerned about Amazon. What we need here is a Wyckoff move, right, for us to get going. We need to reclaim that range. If they keep stuffing 58s, I'd be slightly concerned about Amazon, but if they can get back inside that, it will be good. But gap up there on Amazon as well. Goog opening up flat, kind of similar to Amazon. We need to see this return into range, right? We need to see this start climbing back into range. I'm just going to zoom out of this so I can see. Might need a retest down here first by the looks of it. Right, big push, walking down, failing to reclaim here. And we might come for a 30s back check before we get back to 50. So not touching that right now. Meta coming back down inside after that news came out about the court hearing. We're really doing nothing since that. Going sideways, no edge in that. Softy's been really good, lifting with software, right? Really, really good lifting with software. Remember, we're swing long in this still looks fantastic. We'll see if we can base out in the next week. If software pulls back in and Softy can base out around the 500s to 490s, I might try re-adding. I thought about the add down here. I don't think I did add down there. I think I thought I'll wait. And this will be the confirmation now. So I will be looking for ads there next week. I can't remember. Did I add some more? Part of me is thinking maybe I did get an ad on Softy. I'm going to have to look in Discord. I can't even remember nowadays. My brain's gone to mush. All right, Nvidia opening up slightly down to flat. Remember, big drive out on earnings. It looks good. If it can just hold a base above 25s, it looks pretty good for a continuation. If we start losing 25s, you just got to be slightly aware of this thing like coming right back inside after that gap. All right, so if they lose 25s, 200 can come pretty quick. But if they hold 25s, we're looking for a breakout back towards highs. Tesla as well is looking pretty good here, right, on that shove back upside, opening up with a slight gap up, trying to extend into the top side of its range, 366s. All right, so pretty strong here in the mag here this morning, or at least certainly not weak. Here comes your open, folks. I'm just not really too interested right now in much. I'm going to let this settle down, maybe even for the first half an hour, unless I see like a lot of momentum join the tape here. Let's get some of these on before I forget. There we go. All right, downside we come. At towards these sort of 575 point of control kind of areas. They didn't even clean those up. Nvidia's coming back down off the open. Just watching that. If it comes down to that 25s and finds a bid. At the moment, they just bid 26s on Nvidia. Remember, news 9:45 and then 10 o'clock. Mags with a push up. It's coming up to its cool wall right now at 69s. Semis are under the 120, but doing the dance. This just looks like a chop fest to me at the moment. I wonder if they want to clear out some H1 levels. Do they come back to 500s again is kind of what I'm wondering. Cool wall to put wall. You think we're coming 555s? I wonder if we're going to come deeper, honestly. All right, here's point of control. Around this 0 line. Yes, going nowhere either. Kind of half filled its gap. SPY hasn't filled its gap yet. Q's relative weakness. Semis down to the 118s. That's previous day low. So well underneath. Here's point of control being bid so far. If they lose point of control, I wonder if they're going to go 500s. All right. Nvidia still bidding 26s. I want to see if that comes into 25s. Big seller down here at the lows today. He's just got himself caught for the first time. I mean, there's an argument to bid this back, but I don't think I want to do this on a Friday. I just wonder if we're going to come down here first. What's that protected low on each one? 526, 510s. Divergence at that low down there. Semis tapping previous day low here. Mag coming up to that 69 cool wall. Big level for this market. Got to remind myself, what's the edge of that daily rotation? Sorry, folks, give me a second. 510s. Do we come to the edge of the high volume node? That's what I'm wondering. On the 2026 node I'm talking about. All right, they've just trapped more sellers down there again. This is trying to get relief now. They've I can't talk. They've trapped twice down there. I do wonder if we're going to come right down into here and then bid. But we are starting to see some boys get them sell their pants caught down there. Yeah, just got caught with their pants down, that seller at 82s and below. If it wasn't a Friday, I think I'd be a bit more interested in bidding this at the moment. Yeah, certainly. 85, 82s and below. They came flying in there and got absorbed, no doubt about it. Remember yesterday? What about yesterday? Well, that I didn't bid the low. This is a bit different, mate. All right, our positioning today versus yesterday is very, very, very different. We're 200 points higher with a lot of liquidity underneath that it can go for. It's not the same trade. It might feel like the same trade because some sellers got caught at the lows and we can move upside, but in terms of the RR, it is not even close. Not even close. Yesterday we were bidding a gap and RBS zone where we had higher time frame sellers caught underneath, and we were just looking for lower time frame sellers to confirm that. Today is not the same, I'm afraid. I wish it was. I watched that video back. You can literally hear me talk it as it happens. I go, oh, no business was, literally word for word, no business was done down there. That might be the end of the auction. Sellers just got caught. If this comes back to 50s, I'm going to bid it. And then it just flies away. And I watched it. I was like, just bid it, mate. It came to 60s. Just fucking bid it, you idiot. Semi's never got previous day low. They're literally tapping it at the moment, mate. They're right on it. Well, your point of control for the day is 82s, and that's a big seller down there at 82s. If they leave him stuck, all you're doing now is, I'll move this out a bit, is rotating this to current range, 600 down to 76s. Tesla's perky. Well, it's only half. It's 0.5%, mate. I mean, Apple's 1% up. Amazon's basically 1% up. Google's 0.5%. Meta's 1%. Microsoft's 0.5% up. Tesla's 0.5% up. It's not like you're seeing huge strength there. I mean, I don't know why we care so much. If I'd looked at the screen and thought, oh yeah, that's 3% up, it's leading the charge, but nothing there. All right, there's point of control back to value area high from previous day. Do they find acceptance through this now? If they find acceptance through this, they're going to come right back up to the top side. If they can't find acceptance through this, they're going to come back down inside yesterday's range. And there goes the lift on semis. So they swept previous day low, and they're going to come back for, yes, you've guessed it, 120s. That's what the semis are going to try and do. They're going to try and test back towards 120s. If we hold a bid here, I'll consider it. I just don't love, I'm looking at hourly, I just don't love it. The low sweep was good. We've just run out of room. We've done the move to 680, and that's what's concerning me about looking for anything today. If we're going to buy, I feel like I've got to either buy down at the 5s, or I've got to buy over 680 to avoid the chop. That's what it feels like to me, because we've developed quite a big node this week here, and it's also inside the 2026 level. I mean, if you did bid down here, you're looking pretty good. Your TP1 is here, TP2 is up here, gap fill above, and then we can get going over this for these upside targets, but it's still very early in the session. Right, 119 and a bit here, semis. They're looking for 120 test. They are going wick to wick at the moment at 119.40. If they get through that, they're going to test 120. Over 120, maybe, just maybe, the market gets going, you know. All right, that's a good hold of value here. I am going to watch this now. Do they hold 18s to 30s now for a bid? Big buyer coming in here. There it is. All right. I'm small long here. Risking previous day value area high. See if we can get up to previous week value area high and then expand over it. I really don't love these trades, but that's all the market's offering right now. I'm going to see if we can get up to previous week value area high, because we've held this now. So I'm trying to play this. So I'm looking for this move here, and then above this, gap fill, previous day high. And if we got very lucky, we get for that 800 target, which was what we've said all week, over 680. We'd try and get up to 800. Right, here's the 120 test, SOXL. This is it right now. Big level here. Make sure you got a hard stop in. Go on, get through 120 for me. Go on, semis. Go on, son. Get through the 120s. Go on, I dare you. Go on. Let's go. All right, into TP here. And then we're going to look for gap fill. And into these previous day highs, 705s. And if we can base over this, there is a shot at 800. And there's actually a shot at 29,900 today. Nice. Okay, good. Is about 50, 60 points for you here. And for you guys who bid the lows, really nice. Here we go. Lovely jubbly. Here we go. Go on, son. Look at semis, you absolute beauties. All right, I would like bids to hold 75 now. My aircon's just come on. I'm going to have to, let me move my stop up a bit. Okay, be right back. It was so hot and humid in California yesterday. It was the most humid place in the country, California, yesterday. You took the 605s. Nice, mate. Yeah, I mean, I thought about it down here, just felt a little bit early, but you could see the sellers got stuck into previous day point of control. We ripped through. I joined on the hold after. I didn't join down here. I joined once we held above value. All right, and then TP'd some into here. Now we'll see if we can do any more. Oh, it's not a bad way for a Friday, to be honest. To be honest, this is better than I thought we'd get today. I'm going to level with you. All right, so we're long in here. TP1, and we'll just see. You just never know. Maybe we can get up into this next block. Maybe we get all the way up there. I'm doubtful, but you just never know. We've locked some in no matter what, right? Into PDC. So we've just gap filled this yellow line. So your TPs were like in here. And then we'll just see if we get expansion. We might not get expansion, and I'm okay with it if we don't. The key was that low. That those sellers piled in at the lows again, and then they didn't want it was similar to yesterday, but it was nowhere near as good a trade in terms of I'd rate this a B trade. Yesterday was an A trade for sure. All right, we're holding previous week value here. They've just absorbed it. I've got a feeling we're going to lift this, folks. We might be good here. They might have one more little shove up here. Semis are going. Through the 21s would be good. If they can gap fill up to 23s, that would really help. Nvidia's at high of day. Mag's at high of day. ES is at high of day. Go on, just fucking shove it for us. Just once. Once, just do it early. You took it all off at the top. That's absolutely fine. You've locked in. It's a good trade. Some of you traded down here when I said they're stuck into point of control. That was the better trade. I waited for the confirmation. I waited for this. All right, semi's back to 120. Fucking hell, it's like an absolute magnet, that level. You cannot move away from it. Want to be careful here if we lose 675s. I might cut. There's a little imbalance there because we can flush straight back down to 42s if needed. There is a buyer at the highs who got caught. So seller at the lows, 580. Buyer at the highs at 700. News coming? Yeah, there is. Thank you. In 20 seconds, folks. A red folder's at top of the hour. Make sure you got some hard stops in. Come on, finish this move up. Go. one last shove would be really nice. You're not going to do it, are you? You're going to take my stop. That's me. Done with it. Done with it there, because they can come back to 650. I can reassess this at 650, but that would be midpoint of the range, so not as interested. Nvidia got stuffed there. It was looking for the 230 move. It got stuffed back to VWAP. Right, there's value area high test. This hasn't reset here, but this was just came back to value area high. So my stop was underneath here. If we hold this, maybe I'll have another look at it. It's doubtful, but maybe I'll have to consider it. Told you. What did you tell me, mate? Told you what? Fucking hell. What did you tell me? Let's move up. What did he tell me? I can't even see. Waiting. What are you waiting for? So you're waiting, and you told me that you're waiting. Fucking Nostradamus over here. That was useful, wasn't it? What did you tell me? Sorry. Did you tell me anything useful? That you told me that you're waiting. Well, we called the trap down here. We joined the long here. We trimmed profits here. We stopped out in the money there. I'm not sure what the problem is here. Told you, bruh. Told you that the market was going to do something. No shit. All right, market's in just making you balance up here now. This is the thing. We're very limited. We've got this big LVN up here, which is, this is the third week we've poked into this LVN, right? So we want to be careful. But if we start getting through this LVN, then I think 800s is very, very viable. We'll watch this. Looks like we're going to go now. Liquidity sat at 710, 725. I'm actually going to have to wait for this now to break out above all of this and hold, which we did talk about pre-market. If we come into here, oh, where are you guys? All right, so we're going to have to sort of wait now for this move and hold. We've come down to here, that we've done this move, all right, and we've bid this back up to this level. So if we think about what we've had this morning, we walked down to these red lines, we bid this back out. We kind of need to wait for a breakout and a hold of it for anything upside now, because this is the danger up here, right? We don't really want to be bidding this red block, right? So we've had this move here, red line, bid back up to blue line, kind of need to wait for a breakout and a hold of it. Otherwise, this is the danger. So I'm going to be very patient now. Hard being a day trader today. It's a much easier swing trade right now. What time's the war speech? It is at 10 o'clock, I believe. 10 o'clock. So in 10 minutes. I told you. Yeah, I told you. I told you. Told you, red block. It's probably not an area we want to buy. I told you. Partial Starbucks fund for the weekend. Thank you, mate. I'm just don't pay don't pay no mind to the broccoli bros. Thank you, buddy. I'm only messing anyway. I'm only messing. It just makes me laugh. All right, Nvidia coming back down towards its lower day. So it poked high day, fell breakout, couldn't get into yesterday's highs, back down in towards pre-market lows at the moment. Semi's back under the 120. Mag did get through the 69. We'd need to see it bid and hold the 69. Otherwise, we're coming back to 68.72 on the mag. This thing's just going to build out. It looks like it's going to build out a big old P up here for now. And then we'll just see if post-wash we can get above the P or not. Otherwise, we might build out another node down here like we did earlier. So just for the one trade for me so far, that trade upside, all we got out of it was this. It wasn't bad. 60 odd points. Some of you took the trade down here, which means you got well over 100. Not bad, eh? It's not bad. It's just sticking to the plan as always. And I'm flat now and just waiting. Happy birthday, Alex. Hope you have a wonderful year ahead. Wishing you all the health and success to you and your loved ones. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. How does Starbucks look for a swing long? Mate, I haven't looked at Starbucks in ages. It's funny because they're picking their consumer stocks at the moment. No, not right now, mate. Not going anywhere. Not going. You don't want to bid the top side of the range. All right, so you're either bid down here on Starbucks, or you will need to wait for that. Right, I wouldn't be bidding that right now. You'd be out of position. Thanks, Tyson. Appreciate you, mate. Thanks, mate. Just passed another Apex account. Learning volume profile from you has taken my trading to the next level. Most useful for me has been learning the expected moves and the nodes on the hourly, daily. Yes, nice. Investo Rex. Nice work. Yeah, thanks all. Yeah, birthday's on Sunday. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to the desert after this with the wifey. I know she's booked an Airbnb and we're going chill by the pool, go out for some dinner, probably go to Yucca Valley, do some fun stuff, do some adventure stuff, maybe get some dune buggies out or something. All right, so we're just back up to previous day value area high here. Just sat at VWAP, previous day value area high. If they lose this, we'll come back down to point of control again. I'm not trading this. I'm just waiting for news at this point. We've had our easy pickings this morning. Filled that gap. The desert to eat dessert. Yes. Thank you for everything you taught me. Genuinely changed my life. Oh, thanks very much. Thanks, everyone. You guys are being super kind. Appreciate you. Bring the sunblock. Yeah, Tommy, it's going to be crazy hot. We never normally go this time of year, but I said to the wife, I wouldn't mind getting out of LA and just going getting in a house with a pool and just putting some tunes on and just relaxing for the weekend and not looking at the charts. Are we going to stream the speech? Do you want me to stream the speech? I can if you want. We can find it. Yeah, I can have a look. Or do you just want the comments from it? Just the audio. It might be hard for you guys to hear the audio through the mic. That's the only thing. We can try. Brandon, 1,400 on TPT. Told ya. Happy birthday, brother. Told ya. Nice, mate. Brandon on a heater. All right, Nvidia breaking down on the pre-market lows. Back to the 225. Remember, that was the big level for me today. I think 225 needs to hold on Nvidia. If they lose 225s, I think we move back down to 220 pretty quick. So I think this is the level that if I was a market maker, I would want to trap at if I was thinking about any move upside on Nvidia today. And they are trying to bid 225s. We went over at pre-market. I think that's what I would be looking at if I was them. If I was one of them, mate, that's what I'd look at. I told you, shirt. Shall I get those done? The guy wasn't even talking about me. Was he not? Who is he talking about? I tried to scroll up and see what he said. I just couldn't find it. The best was the guy yesterday when I said, "Oh, I'm looking for to buy 400s and for the move to 580 for the point of control." And he was like, "That's never going to happen, but good luck." If you watch the stream, it's literally 3 seconds later we get that boner candle straight through 580. Can't make it up. Thanks, Fern. Yeah, not going to happen. That was it. You clipped it. Nice. Can you send that? I should clip that. Never say never. Honestly, that's the most important thing to think about in the market always. Never say anything is possible in the market. The moment you catch yourself saying this has to happen, this is 100% happening, or this can never happen, is the moment arrogance has got into your own head, and the market will likely humble you at that point. TradingView lagging this morning. I feel like TradingView is always lagging on execution. Derek, thank you very much. Very kind of you. As usual, great week. I'm very green on QQQ options and futures. Thank you. Have a great birthday weekend. Nice, mate. Here's a question for you. Are you holding over the weekend some options, or were they weeklies? All right, Nvidia's bidding. It's trying to bid 25s like we talked about, 225s. Guess what? SOXL straight back to that midpoint. Let's get Mr. Walsh on. Here we go. Can you guys hear that? If we bid back over all of this, I'm interested. I'll tell you what he says then if you guys can't hear. All right, here we go. Looks totally thinned out, folks. There's the bid over. If we get over all of this, I'm interested.
Let's go, wars, no wars. Before setting out today, the recommendation is to do a wellness check. Ask yourself, is a cone day or a Bernanke day? The best thing about this gap is that it helps us all get happier than the mountain. Clear our minds. Think straight about our world and our time. Think straight about our world and our time. For me, it feels like the right place, the right audience, for real engagement, the ideas that matter most. Innovation, as Kristen mentioned,
Literally, not. It's nothing so far. He's talking about hiking, not hiking rates. Hiking.
Innovation to the conduct of Fed policy will help deliver price stability alongside full employment. So here's a quick overview of what I'll cover in my remarks this morning.
It's here.
Call it an outline, call it a trail map. Please just don't call it forward guidance.
So he's giving no guidance.
First, I'll touch on a few of the longer-term questions we're asking at the Fed about the latest general-purpose technology, AI, where it might take the economy. Then I'll reflect a bit on the practice of forward guidance and the interaction between the central bank and financial markets.
I'll talk about forward guidance after saying I'm not going to talk about forward guidance.
Conduct of monetary policy.
Man, this guy's such a douche.
My assessment of what's happening in the economy. So first, I think we should try to prepare a bit for future policy conjunctures. With the unchanging picture of the T-tones as our backdrop, we are here to survey an economic landscape that is anything but static. It wasn't so long ago, including in rooms like this, in the run-up to the crisis of
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate you, mate.
Over the decade that followed, economists and policymakers were speaking of secular stagnation, speaking of a global savings glut. It's a widely held view that an excess of capital would sit on the sidelines for a very long, long time, because there just wouldn't be enough compelling investment opportunities. All the good stuff, you'll recall, had been invented, so growth would be low and slow. Well, times sure have changed. We've come to a hinge point in history. Borrow a phrase, a framing from my former mentor, George Schultz. To cite the clearest example, progress in AI,
NVIDIA at 25s.
The newest technology.
Semi's back under 120.
Faster even than its evangelist predicted just a couple of years ago. The potential for substantially higher growth is on the rise. Ever-expanding pools of capital pouring into AI-related infrastructure of all sorts.
He's talking about capital into AI right now.
Moore's law seems to be playing out. Scaling laws, too, are changing both the method and speed of innovation. Capital and labor have combined to create large language models at the heart of AI. Users buy tokens to gain access to these models. Reports would
Backward guidance. I like that, Donut Lord. That's good.
$100 billion, an increase of 500%.
You can hear good? Okay, cool. Perfect.
At the Fed, we watch all this
this here.
attentively. We recognize that AI is a new variable.
Thanks, Fern. Very kind of you.
Factor of production that will have consequences both for the economy and for the conduct of monetary policy.
All right, ES approaching current day low.
It opens up some major lines of it. Will the application of AI cause a significant sustained rise in productivity across the economy? If so, when? Will token usage be complementary or competitive to labor? Will the next generation of AI models demand even greater capital intensity too? Or will the models themselves help devise a capital-light solution?
Just watching the H1. For me, there's just no edge here at the moment. Still think there's a chance we come back down to 500.
It's not obvious where the returns on capital will land, or on what time scale. Early on, how much of the surplus goes to owners of scarce assets, the AI labs or chip makers or energy?
I agree with you, Gene. Totally agree with you.
Over time, how much of that value?
Can you trade this on Lucid? You can now. You couldn't from 6:59 to 7:01 on the new daily accounts. If you traded it on the daily accounts in that time, I don't know if you get them deleted or they just delete any profits. I'm not sure. Is 360 a good buy? So interesting level for sure. This green box and this blue box is an interesting level.
Will token prices for older models fall to the level of their marginal cost? Well, we'll be thinking through these matters.
All right, back down to opening range low. This is where the sellers got stuck this morning. More huge sellers piling in here at the lows.
To be clear, though, their recommendations
I want to see if we come down here at the moment and if they bid or not.
on decisions we make in the current policy conjunction.
ES getting absolutely whacked here, coming down to zero line, 730s.
This intellectual investment today will leave us much better prepared for tomorrow.
Nvidia losing 225s. Very plausible we move to 220s here if they can't hold reclaim quick. Semis back down to previous day low. More sellers piling in at these lows right now, not getting their way at the moment. So he's just piled in at 84s.
Make us fit for purpose. To highlight one example, I've set out to change the form and function of the Fed chairman's so-called forward guidance.
Market doesn't like his voice.
My long-time
Me neither.
with early pronouncements of future policy decisions. I much prefer another path, and now we'll make the case for it.
Okay, here we go.
Transparency in communications about future policy decisions is not an end unto itself. Communications must be in service to the Fed's paramount responsibility. What is that? It's getting policy right. Forward guidance as a regular practice was adopted by my colleagues and me during the global financial crisis. It was essential at the time, and we introduced it.
More sellers piling in here.
As with other legacies of crises past, I believe the practice has outstayed its welcome. In normal times, the role of forward guidance should be limited and circumscribed. Otherwise, it risks creating ambiguity in the name of clarity.
Failed auction at the low there.
Oversharing policy deliberation.
At opening range low. Sellers remain stuck at 82 and under right now.
Can lead markets
Just like this first move earlier. They piled in again.
I believe when policymakers make quasi-commitments on interest rates throughout the cycle, we inhibit.
If we hold 82s or above, I'll be interested in small side bid.
To get policy right, we also need to get the relationship right between the central bank and financial markets. The Fed needs clear market signals.
Thanks, John.
As unfiltered.
Right, I'm small long on that bid. There we go. Let's see if we can get back above the New York Open now. Not risking much here. Very tight.
Prices and trading volumes of treasury securities.
Very volatile right now.
Foreign exchange value of the dollar. Cost and availability of credit.
There's my stop out. Scratch on that.
These and other indicators should inform the Fed.
I'll watch it again for the same trade if they set up.
On economic activity and inflation throughout the business cycle. They should also reveal the state of broader financial conditions.
If they can't hold here, though, we're going to come 520s quick. I'm flat at the moment, just waiting.
At the same time, market participants themselves should be tracking real information about the real economy. They should draw their own conclusions.
New lows Nvidia.
Their own expectations. Things like output, employment, and inflation. And they too should stay sharply attuned to risks.
Sellers still stuck down there at the moment.
The Fed should be humble and never naive. plays an essential role in the economy. Our tools are powerful. We determine the path of short-term interest rates, and market participants will always try to anticipate what we will do next. But we should not indulge a regime in which market participants are looking primarily to the Fed for their next trade.
We don't look to you for trade, mate. You fucking idiot. We look to know what you're going to do to help the economy. Fuck me. This guy's a douchebag.
On the Fed's guidance, and the Fed relies on market prices. We're more likely to be blinded to new developments, more likely to be caught unprepared, and more likely to commit errors in policymaking. Now, perversely, market participants are unlikely to bear the biggest costs of the Hall of Mirrors problem. Most serious harm is likely to befall those without
under here. Yeah, we can go neg under here. Yeah, absolutely.
inflation wrong, judges the economy wrong.
If we can't reclaim this can get drastic. So this is neg transition, this is neg, this is neutral, this is positive transition. It's very tight today.
So, if forward guidance is ill-suited to normal times, how about the new Fed chief commits at a meeting just like this to some explicit reaction function? Surely he could tell us his interest rate path, if say the data were to come in hotter. Well, I wish our understanding of the economy were so precise as to provide a mechanical, tried and true answer. That some simple function, like a Taylor rule, could be rigorously reliable. But our knowledge just does not extend that far. At least not yet.
Still holding yesterday's value area.
Most relevant to the proper conduct of monetary policy.
We've just come into a lot of imbalances here and finding a bid, and there was selling at the low. I'm still watching this level here, 520, to see if we hold it. 500, 520.
Better in the lab than in the field.
Still walking it down at the moment, so.
Not alone in noticing that forward guidance in 2021, to cite just one example, might well have slowed the policy response to high inflation. In my term as chairman, my colleagues and I will endeavor to construct more reliable models.
Was that just a swipe at Powell? I think it was.
Knowing that accuracy in forecasting is still just an aspiration. With so much changing so fast in our geopolitics, global supply chains, technology, it's wise to be modest about what we can and cannot know as we sit here today. In the same spirit, we should receive the full range of ideas on matters that may inform the Fed's monetary policy discussions.
50-50 Fed rate hike in September now. So that's coming off quite a lot. We were at like 70%, 60%, now 50-50. So completely undecided now.
The balance of my remarks will share with you some key principles that guide my thinking on the appropriate conduct.
All right, here's previous day value area low. They need to protect this. If they don't protect this, we're going to wash down into this expected move, the green box. Seller at these lows, not much business being done under 520s. I still think Nvidia's a problem. Under 225, this can still come right back down into 220s.
Challenge is to know the difference.
Software,
In other words, we must interrogate
weak.
reality.
Make sure you guys can see this.
We're not setting
All right, all of these
policy
moving downside right now.
stale or inaccurate.
No bid in the market.
Nor should we rely on isolated data points. Trends matter most. The Fed's a decision-making agency. We make choices amid uncertainty, and the data upon which we draw must be relevant, contemporaneous, accurate, and as actionable as possible.
Contemporaneous, that's a new one for me.
The Fed's actions are intended to ensure that the aggregate demand side of the economy is broadly consistent with aggregate supply. However, all we observe directly is activity. We never see and can only infer what's really happening.
Well, there's the bid off value area low.
Hence, evaluating the current and expected balance.
A bit of 20s
between
here.
Aggregate supply and aggregate demand is imprecise. misunderstanding. Fed's price
They've got to get back inside value
2%
here at 70s.
by the PCE price index is a firm, fixed.
We'll see what we do if we get back inside. Maybe I'll consider a bid.
About another aspect of this objective. Price stability is not self-executing, nor is inflation necessarily mean reverting. It's the Fed's job to deliver stable prices, no excuses. Fourth principle. The Fed also bears responsibility for maximum employment. Achieving both sides of our mandate over the medium term is not an either-or proposition.
All right, spiders. Finding that bid on the 0 line in the ES.
High inflation itself is very
Semis washed previous day lows, trying to get back inside current day.
short-term interest rates are the predominant
Starting to see like the first
achieve the dual mandate.
signal of an attempt of a turnaround. We haven't reclaimed anything yet. This is still your level, right? This LVN.
May suit genuine
But if we think about what's happening, we're protecting value. We're back to the LVN. The question is, do they build out here? Can we break back upside? And if so, we can try and bid that. If they reject this, then we're going to come right back down into there.
These days. My view is that money has something important to do with monetary policy. We should pay attention to money created by the central bank and money that comes from the banking and financial system. It's true that financial innovations, subject of this conference, and other factors alter the mechanics.
All right, here's the bid. So they go 590s. Let's see if they come back inside and hold now. So I'm going to watch to see if we bid 65 to 60s here. If we can't hold 65 and 60s, there's no upside bid. All right, but if we hold that, willing to look at it. Hopefully it's not a repeat of yesterday.
Purposeful Fed in its communications.
Said all day. I think we can come to 500s.
Its objectives.
It's going to be like
held
yesterday.
accountable for delivering on our remit. The only true test of our credibility.
All right, we need to hold this edge now.
To borrow a line from
Come on.
Fred Yeager,
Don't be a prick, market.
they're either
This second day in a row. Second day in a row. We come to my level. We trap sellers at the low, and then we just fuck it and on one.
next policy conjuncture. Little bit on principles.
Did anyone just close their eyes and buy 500? Told me. You told me.
What's really going on outside the window? It's a little ironic. There are no windows in this room, but there are big ones at the Federal Reserve. And we've been using those in my first 100 days.
All right, here's PDC. If you were long on ES from that 0 line, 730, you got to trim some here, please.
You may have read in the July minutes the unanimous view of FOMC.
You bought the level to tight stop. Nice.
Output
You bought 560 reclaim. Nice. I'm waiting to see if we come back into it.
A good majority of my colleagues and I thought the wiser course was to await new information in the intermeeting period, especially given possible
I ain't getting filled here, man. This is gone.
investment flows, and geopolitics,
This is gone.
before deciding whether a change in interest rate policy was advisable. We expressed our joint readiness to act.
Ah, God.
As we sit here, I'm impressed by the overall performance of the economy, which appears to have strengthened.
Oh, God. There's your New York Open. Oh, that's your TP1. If you get over this, TP2 and TP3s, TP4s.
Both Main Street and Wall Street have been remarkably resilient.
You have to pay yourself some here because we've got buyers
Similar observations.
stuck above this right now for the session, right? So
Is rising rapidly.
you got to
Four-quarter change
sell some
in
into this. I'm still waiting to see if we can do this move.
Its highest growth rate since 2021. And more than half of the capex growth will likely be ascribed to the build-out related to AI. What about profits? For the firms in the S&P, profits have grown more than 20% over the last year alone. Profit margins are quite elevated.
It's fucking Groundhog Day for Alex. This has just done exactly the same thing as yesterday.
We're staying keenly focused on market internals, watching performance across sectors. Expectations for both growth and capex and corporate earnings are running quite high.
Oh!
watch the change in the growth rates in the second derivative. Follow-on effects on asset prices, business confidence, consumer incomes and spending are equally important to gauge.
It's a sign to enjoy vacation. I do actually agree with that. All right. Call wall, put wall, zero line. You got to trim something here. If we get above this, you get going. But you got to trim something. You guys should be long from down here, or maybe a breakout through this. Like always, I'm just looking for that little pullback in. It's not done it.
Standards for C&I loans on the easier end of their historical range helps explain their growth that we've seen this year in these loans. In my view, credit and loan markets are showing few signs of policy restraint. Now, certain sectors,
right, Nvidia, trying to get back to that 225 level. It's a big level. It needs to get back through it. Oh, you...
Real consumer spending has been healthy despite these shocks, increasing more than 2% over the past 4 quarters. Keep in mind consumption with the brisk investment we talked about earlier. Private domestic financial purchases have also risen. These purchases have increased at a pace of nearly 3% or so far this year. It's a measure that typically carries more signal than GDP. Trend here too, positive. So on the employment side of the Fed's dual mandate, the country's doing well.
Any pullback would be nice here, mate. Just anything right now, you know. Just anything. We're now 150 points higher than where I wanted to buy.
Hasn't changed much.
Oh my God.
Unemployment claims, 4-week moving average, empirically robust real-time indicator, near their lowest level in decades. In my view, the relatively low change in today's labor market.
TP2 here, folks. For those in it, well done. You got to wait for a breakout and hold above it now.
That happened after in the post-pandemic. But when labor supply is barely growing,
680s, that's your level, right? Same as yesterday. Be smart.
For example, among recent graduates. In general, though, people want to work by and large.
See if we can pull back. Anywhere here would be nice. 40s or something.
As of now, I believe the labor markets are broadly consistent with full employment. But on the price stability side of our mandate, the numbers are more concerning.
Oh.
The Fed's preferred measure of inflation, the one I talked about earlier, 12-month change in the PC price index stands at 3.7%. The 6-month change a little above 4.
He's talking about inflation now.
Measures from the CPI index are also elevated, as are core measures both of PCE and CPI inflation. None of these measures are perfect, but they all tell a similar story. Inflation is running above our 2% target.
This is the bid. It needs to hold here. Otherwise, you go right back down because it's been a squeeze right out and then come right back to here if they can't hold 40s.
So what's our job? Job for policymakers is to capture underlying trend inflation. Easier said than done.
They reclaim 40s here, I'll watch. What's that level there? 42.
Seems to be stuck in place. We also want to understand not just the direction of travel, but the speed. Each of these broad inflation measures have fallen significantly from their highs of a few years ago, but progress over the last couple of years has been more modest. And while this summer's PC and CPI readings were better than expected, they do not tell me that underlying trends have meaningfully improved.
Watching for reclaim of 42s here.
But in my view,
it's 42s. I'm watching this level. Need to see us hold a bid here and I'll bid it.
Future inflation for a very long time.
All right, bid here.
So to try to gauge underlying inflation,
Tight stop. Very tight stop.
Things I've always looked to. Find it instructive to disaggregate 199 individual components.
Come on, mate. I can see you trying to bid it. Help me out.
For the last 12 months, 54% of goods and services in this basket showed price increases.
He's just pulled his bid out there. Can always get back in. Back in again. I'm having to hotkey this. Don't play games here. Come on, just lift it. There we go. There we go. Get through this.
Over just the last 6 months,
Making my life very hard today, market.
Showed price increases.
Should have gone then and didn't.
And this is well below the
Out again there. I'm going to hands off. They're playing games at 42s. Hands off.
Rise in overall commodity prices also bears watching. What we need to judge is whether the trends we see indicate upside inflation risks. Now, it matters too whether the inflation readings of the past 5 years have seeped into expectations. Good news is that measures of inflation expectations in the medium term, by and large, look stable. And inflation compensation measures from the swaps market.
Inflation looks stable, he's saying.
Similar message. Especially in light of recent developments.
I can't bid this unless we get over 42s. That's what I'm saying in my head. Either that or we come right back down into 570s and protect it.
That market prices show confidence that we will deliver price stability. And I can assure you.
This can be the high low. I just want to see us move over 42s for confirmation. All right, I'm looking for this move here. All right, we're going to watch this again. This will be the third time at this same trade if I ever go.
They all tend to look really strong and durable until they don't. These expectations are not pushed around easily, and right now they are very well anchored. But they must be closely minded, and it's the Fed's job to make sure that inflation expectations do not get unanchored.
There's the bid. They keep trying to push it through. There's a refresh seller, 40, 45, 50. Each time we fill him, he's back on the book.
Sits squarely with the central bank, and that's where it belongs.
There he is again, refresh, and now he's chasing lower. Big battle here.
That underlying inflation is moving to our objective clearly and at sufficient speed. Otherwise,
whoa.
That's our job. That's our mandate. That's
Who are you, mate? Came flying in.
So I've covered quite a bit of ground.
What level was that? 25.
See if I can conclude this way. I stand here today committed to a discipline, not a decision. My Fed colleagues and I are hardly the first to hold these positions in a time of great consequence. We are determined to redeem the time by doing our very best work. For those of us...
Quit gambling. You think I'm gambling, Kitsune?
We take our responsibility seriously.
I don't think I'm... I don't think one part of any trade I've taken there is a gamble.
So much depends on the choices we make. Sound monetary policy helps households and businesses to prosper. When carried out effectively, it broadens and deepens the...
Call it. Like I said, I'll bid over 42s. If we get over 42s, I'll bid. Had 2 goes at it.
And I know that our country needs us to think.
But they keep playing games there. There's a refresh seller keeps coming on.
It's a tremendous honor to serve once again. Truly grateful for the encouragement, good counsel, warm reception I've received in my first 100 days from my colleagues. I'm also honored and grateful for...
Nvidia needs to get back inside 225. It poked inside, being sold off back underneath it again. That's the level. It's been the level all day. 42s is our level right now. That's what I'm watching. Right, he's finished. Let's see what this market does now he's finished. He is one boring arsehole, isn't he? Feel sorry for whatever woman's dating him. All right, let's see if the market can get moving now. All right, watching 42s here, same as before. If we hold the bid here, I want to be bid long. And then 680 is the target, and then through that. Nothing's changed. It's the same trade of the last. This will be the third attempt at it. Let's see, 42s. 47s, bidding that. All right, small piece long here. Trying to get up towards 80s all the time we hold. Mate, it's refresh seller again's just come on the book. It's got to be an iceberg. That's like eighth time there. Still holding this versus previous day value area high at the moment. I'll give it to New York Open. I'll give it like, I don't know, what's that, 10 points? seller here again. Someone's unloading up there. Once he's out the way, this will lift. And it's got targets up towards 700. We just need this seller. You can even see it on Bookmap. Like, he's unloaded so much. And again, get out the way, mate. Just let it through. Here we go. Get out the way. Don't want to see this stuff again. Fuck me, he's there again. Pwah. I'm not going to fight a big boy. This either goes or I'm out for a very tight stop. All right, let it through. So I'm looking for 680, 700, and then expansion to 800 if we can get through that. My stop's basically right on that blue line you can see on the screen. So if they wick that blue line, I'm out. This right here. I'm like long risking this right now, looking for this move. Wanted to be long here. This is the pullback. I'm looking for this build out. All right, is this seller gone now? Nope, there again. Jesus Christ. They're absorbing 660s. Well, I'll tell you what, whoever wins this battle is going to get a big fucking move. Nvidia failing 225s there. I want to be careful of this. Semis can't get back through the 120 yet. They're trying. You've got to have a hard stop in here, team. Refresh seller again up there at 55s. You have to have a hard stop on it. Do not give this room, because if the sellers win here, it will be nasty. And we can just develop the D if they're going to be a pain. Look how thick this is getting up here now. Here we go. Come on, let it through. We've got to expand value for the day through 680. There's so many unfinished auctions up above we can go and reprice. Come on. Go, 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 go. Come on, go. Right, your TP is here up to 680, your first TP if you want to take it. I'm trying to hold for a breakout of high day here, but this is your first TP here, value area high from previous week. Same level as yesterday, right? 680s. We get through here, I'm going to look for the lift. Here we go. Fucking hell, they made that really fucking hard work. Really hard work. All right, we want to base over this now. Took me 3 attempts at that. 2 tiny little stops just to get this going. So TP1 here, and we'll see if we can break higher day. So tough, yeah. It would. The refresh seller there made it very hard. Very, very, very hard. Right, it will really help if Nvidia gets through these 225s. It's like just sat on it. Semis are back to 120. All right, it will also help us if we can get back through the 120 and push higher day on semis. Here we go, folks. Come on. Give it to me. Let's go. Let's get moving. Let's get moving, please. I should put this in for you guys, shouldn't I? So it's the same trade as earlier, really, if you think about it. It's exactly the same. All right. Up into here, and if we get lucky, we're going to aim for 800s. If we get very lucky, we're going to get 29.9s. But you must be trimming some into this area. Right, I want it to be long down here. It's literally identical to yesterday. Right? I wanted this, but it just did this. So I'm forced to join here after the 2 leg. Right, looking good here. Where's the gamma flip? We're already over it, mate. We're positive gamma now. We're already over it. Neutral is 95. 95 to 40s. We're into positive gamma now. So you have to have trimmed some here. We want 70s now to absorb. That's value area high on the session. If they really need to, they're going to come back down into 58 here. Under 58, I'm not interested. So it stops in the money. Goes or doesn't go now. It's as simple as that. I think we can take out previous day high, which is just above high of day here. Here we go. So I'd like to take out sort of 708s, 710s. But you definitely don't want to be in new money long in this red block. Right? Even here was tough. I wanted to be long down here. Even here is tough. If we can get up here, it would be great. And this can't come under 58s. My stop's in the money at 58s. Hands are off. Let it work. Stock's still struggling at 120. Yeah, it's stuck there. Good news is Nvidia's back through 225s. Mags is trying to get through the 69 calls. So we are looking better here off the pivot, right? As all three together. We'll just see if they can expand now. Come on. So if you haven't taken some, I'm trying to target 708, and then I'm hoping that stop run lifts us up to 800. That's what I'm thinking here, that there's enough stops up here now potentially that if we run them, we can get that squeeze up. Let me just check last week. All right, 55, 755, 785, right? That's going to be our target for a squeeze over 708s. 755, 780s. IB, yeah, we're stuck. We're inside IB. IB low, IB highs. It's just overlapping here. That's all it is. Because your high of day is basically previous day high in Globex. Here we go. Right, here's the stop run. Let's see if we can expand it now. So TP here, and then now I'm looking for 755, 785s, 800s. You can move your stop into the money. We don't want this back under 700. Big buyer came in at 700. So this is a big area to TP some out, folks. Sorry it took 3 attempts. I can't help it. Like, when there's an iceberg or a refresh that keeps coming on and on and on and on and on, I can only read like what's in front of me. I can't move them out the way. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I can't. Sometimes it takes a few attempts, but you'll hear me say, like, I'll stop out here. I'm happy to take tight stops, but all the time we rehold, I'm happy to have another go. Normally 3 or 4 attempts. That was probably my last go at this trade, but I've locked some in here. And now we just got to see, right? We're into that red block. The question we're now posing, I'll show you now why I wanted to be. I was more bullish today, but we wanted the dips. Okay, so if we think about yesterday, this is yesterday's value area. All right, this morning we've run internal stops out and we've held value area low. That's where we wanted to buy. It went without me. What are you going to do? All right, we are now targeting all the swing stops from yesterday and this guy here, all right, and this guy here. What we need to be careful of, this red block is 2 weeks of low volume, all right? It was support, it was support, it was support, it became resistance, it became resistance, it became resistance, it became resistance. If we get lucky, we're going to get this move into here. If we get really lucky, we can target the next LVN, which is sort of 800s. And if we get through that, old point of control, expected move, potential expected move. It doesn't mean it gets there, by the way, expected move. It means it's the edge, the extreme edge is up here today. All right, so I was trying to position for that. Right, we need value area high to hold here. 80s. 80s has got a hold here for our runners. I want to see a new high put in here and pretty soon, because we do have some buyers stuck up here at 700 now. All right, so we've got to get moving here. They absorbed that little breakover. I want to see a new high, and I want to see it now. And I tell you what, my stop is moving to where that last wick was at 75. I'm going to protect that guy. This is good. This is better. We've got to get through 700. We have not wanted to auction over this so far this morning. In fact, we haven't wanted to auction over this for, this is the third week. So it's a big level. Let's see if we can do a deal here and buyers can start getting assertive. Right, Nvidia through 225s. Let's see if we can hold 225s. Come on, SOXL, get over 120. Jeez Louise, you are making life hard. Please, please, please make sure you've paid yourself something. All right, there is absolutely zero guarantee that we can go any more upside from here. We're holding runners in case we do, right? So what I'm trying to get better at is like just positioning and letting them work. If they don't work, they don't work. So my stop's down at 75s, because if we lose 75s, we're going to come back down to 50s or 45s pretty quick. So that's where my stop is. Hopefully we don't get an Alex trade. But I paid myself no matter what. Now just let it work. Tyson, it could be a good day for a Tyson day, right? Because this is the edge of range. This is right in the middle of range. This is the low of the range. So if you see something like this, maybe. But I am already net long, right? So I'm not going to get out my runner to look for this move. I'm going to try and see if we can get the Tyson expansion. Let's see what that expansion model might look like today. Look at that, 809s, 800s, remember, is where I'm trying to trade up to. It was my target yesterday, over 680. It is my target today, over 680. All right, so if we think about this, this is what we're looking for. This move here up into 800s, right? This block. We've paid ourselves in this spike because we don't know if we can do this. It's possible they roll over, but ideally we just keep moving. Oh, you're still looking. Yeah, I'm so sorry, folks. I'm so sorry. Apologies. All right, this red block's what I'm targeting, basically. Right, so we can, if you have enough size, you can trim some at 750s, and then you're looking 800s. Just like yesterday. How much would I rather have been filled down here? Makes life much easier to hold. Right, looking good. What I'm going to do, there's an unfinished auction at 87. So I'm going to move my stop up just under 700s. There's a little LVN at 98. So my stop is now at 96 for the runner. Okay, because I don't want to get caught in a failed auction here. So my stop's well up into the money now. Hopefully we can get 750, 800. Here we go, team. Not bad, eh? Not bad. There's 100 points. Not bad. Let's go. Let's go. Right, resting liquidity, 58s and then 800. Look at this block up here into 800 on Bookmap. We're looking good. Right, I moved my stop up a little more now, 710s, all right? Because we had a huge buyer come in at 711s and another one at 723. So I'm just trying to protect this. I'm just very conscious about the fail break. This is ultimately the target. And if we got lucky, purple box. Told ya. Yeah, told ya. Sometimes it takes a while, guys. Like, all we remember as traders, all we can do is create thesis, position when that thesis shows, and then manage risk. Right? Managing risk means stopping out when it's not working in here, and then getting back in when it looks like it's setting up again. Managing risk means taking partials at key areas. Managing risk means moving stop up correctly. Managing risk means not buying in incorrect areas, right? And now we have a very nice position now to let it work, where we're now up about 100 points. $3K good enough for me. Thank you, Alex. You're the man, as always. Nice work, Trader Co. yeah, it's turning out to be not a bad Friday. I was concerned that this would be an awful day, but this is not bad. You should have locked something in. I would say be down to like 20 to 30% here, because it's very possible, right, that they do one of these, and if they can't do that, it's very possible they do this. You do not want to give this whole move back, right? So I would have been down, like locked in 80% here. If you're willing to hold for this, great, but you got to know that if we fail that, that would be the failed auction and the return back in. So I'm up at 11s now, protecting 11s. You could argue that I should probably move to 700 on the dot. Problem is there is an unfinished auction at 88, so I think if we lose 11s, we'd probably go 88, and I don't want to give, that would be me giving back 50 points of this. Is having a daily bias. I hate that word, right? That's such a fucking ICT kind of terminology, daily bias. I hate the word bias. You're already setting yourself up for failure. I think having potential pathings are important. It's not a bias necessarily, right? It's if we do this, we will do this. But if this fails and we do this, we can do this. I will position for this if this happens. I will position for this if this happens. I will not position for this if this happens, right? Do you see what I mean? When we say daily bias, it makes it sound like market's going up because daily like, oh, Kitsune, get out of it. Go away. All right, here comes that liquidity that we're talking about. All right, I think 58's the level. We're tapping into it, right? Because we're looking at the H1 right now. That's where swing stops are. So if you want to pay yourself some here, you can, right? This right here, this high from Wednesday the 19th, right? And then we're looking for the 800. So if we can run that high, maybe we get up into that. At the moment, they're protecting that high. There's a 77 lot just sold in front of 50s there. I'm hoping we can just fill all these guys on the book higher. I mean, it's probable that we need a pullback soon. I just don't really want to sit through it. We've got an unfinished auction at 25s now. If we can just run these stops at 80s, I think we get the 800 and then I can get some more size off. Run the stops at 58s, I mean, sorry. There we go. Come on. Push through it. Let's go. Let's just break up to 800 in one go. Come on. Come on. Pop 58 and run it. I want us to protect 46s now and keep this seller stuck if possible. Certainly want to protect 40s. Exhaustion up here on that last move. Hopefully we can just do one more shove up. I've trimmed a little bit more there because we've just failed that last little shove up. I think we can still do it, but I'm just being cautious. I don't want to give too much back on the runners. We're up over 100 points now. It's a great hold of that little node that we're developing. I really, really, really want us to stay above 46s here, because then we'll have a 77 lot trapped. Come on, 58 break, 800, be done for the day. Alex can go on holiday. It'd be very nice. Yeah, semis, like, they're just a pain in the arse, aren't they? The 120s. Mag's fantastic. ES fantastic. It's just even Nvidia's playing ball. It's just semiconductors. That 120 we've talked about the last 2-3 sessions. It's a pain in the butt, man. Right, good. Get above 46s and go now. And now break 58s and run it. Come on. Come on. Right, I'm moving my stop up to 40s now, because this needs to go now and break 58s. Let's go. Go, 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 go. Lift, 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 lift. We're looking for red box, guys. This is the trade. Here we go, motherfuckers. Told ya. Told ya. Getting very close. You might want to TP some out here. The next wick technically is 86s. Okay, from technical point of view, it's 86s. The LVN is 93s to 812. So I will get out of here so soon. So just so you know, for your targets, you are down to small size. I'd watch 86s all the way up to 815s. If you break 815s, your target is the old point of control 870. If you get going through that, your expected move today, I'm just going to check to see if they've moved it by any chance. All right, based on yesterday's close, it was 910 today. Based on today's open, it's 814. So we're getting pretty close. Remember, we don't expect to get through those levels. Those are the maximum areas today. Based on today's range, they reckon 890, so 900. So you're there or thereabouts, folks. All right, we start getting into those kind of areas soon, so we're getting frothy. Yeah, I see that. Semis are pulling down, but, you know, MAG is going turbo. The rest of the market is lifting, all right? So semis weak. This is lifting. Our swings are absolutely printing right now. All right, my stop's going to move up here again. I'm now going to protect 44s. So I'm at 44s now with the stop, folks. I'm looking for 800s. I'm looking for that red block. Do you know how many times I post these on like Instagram and stuff? People like, prove it. It's like, did it live, dickhead. It isn't. I know it's after the fact when I post the screenshot, but we do actually do it live. Congrats on the awesome trade. I was paper trading today because I blew my eval last night. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm starting to feel like I'm trying to trade Globex blind without Bookmap. Yeah, I mean, look for me personally, I cannot trade anything without Bookmap now. Do you see how if you watch my eyes when I'm in a trade, they're here. If I'm looking here, I'm directly watching at what's happening. If I'm looking here, I'm looking at footprints. I'm looking for the guys that are stuck if I've missed it on Bookmap. When I'm looking here, I'm looking for the guys walking up. I'm looking for the refresh sellers. I'm looking for the guys pulling orders. Stephen, nice work. Hell of a day. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome. Here we go, folks. We're getting up to this red box. All right. So the only thing we've got left to aim for after this really is 866 and then 900s. All right. We are coming right into this key level. I'm going to remind you why this is God mode, right? God mode. God mode says we're going to try and tap here today. God mode said, hey, we might rinse this and then try and bid up, right? These are the TPs, these are the TPs, these are the TPs, all right? We are still bullish. H1 is bullish, flow zones are bullish. We just needed that washout because we don't want to buy high, all right? That's the fucking key rule. We don't like buying high. Sometimes like today, I had to buy higher than I would have preferred because I missed the entry, but it's set up. All right, here we go. This is the move. This is the move, folks. 87s. Edge of this red box. You got to be paying yourself on this shove up. If it fails in front of it, you got to ask yourself, do you want to be a dick for a tick? Moving my stop up again here. I'm now going to protect this node at 60s. All right, so I'm trying to give it a chance to work. Big sellers piling in here at the highs. So if we come under 60s, I'm out now, folks. All right, I'm trying to give it a chance, but I'm willing for this to pull back 20 points. So I'm trying to give this a chance to get through this sort of 86s to get to 800. You can see this red block, people are front running it. They are starting to unload. Come on, baby. Get through 86 and fucking rinse it up. So much liquidity on the book here from 790 to 800, all right? Almost there through the 86s. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Couple more points to fill me. Right, get your wish orders out. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Garage fingers on a Friday. Brrr. 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 How did you do it with such a tight stop? You were only risking like 10 points. I know, it's fucking incredible when you have order flow and you can read it. That's a 150-point banger. It might get all the way up here. You might get lucky now, folks. All right, this, by the way, so that you understand, this was not just planned out today. All right, anyone who had the weekly newsletter, what did the weekly newsletter say for the upside move? All right, think about what it said for the upside move. Think about where we are now. I'm gonna put it on your screens. You guys, one day you'll just read the newsletter and be like, right, I'm sticking to these levels. I'm not even going to do anything else. Make your life easy. All right, here we go. Pow! All right. Someone asked me, where did we bid yesterday? 400. From 400, where are we looking for? 680s. Once we get over 680s, what are we looking for? Oh, 800. Where are we? 800. Next level, 870, 30,000. All right, 870 expected move. All right, if you get lucky, you get that. All right, with this is all. Read this last bit. Right, rotate towards 680. Until that happens, basically, until we get over 680, it needs to be treated as reclaims need confirmation. What I'm saying is, this is now basically into squeeze territory. Right, swing shorts are getting very upset now. We've done it. We've done everything we needed. Anything beyond this is an absolute bonus. Buyers trapped at the top. They're not trapped yet. All right, they're not trapped yet. There are giant buyers at the top. You have correctly identified that. But remember, they're only trapped when we move under them. We haven't moved under them yet, right? We have to start like moving under them. And I'd say the sellers at 69s, once we move under them, then those buyers get confirmed as trapped, right? So you've correctly identified that huge buyers have come in up here. That is absolutely correct, right? Huge sellers have come in here. These buyers become trapped liquidity when we move under them, right? Then they're in problems, but they're in bigger problems when the sellers are in control. Does that make sense? So good that you can identify them. Now wait. You have to wait for them to become trapped, right? Where do I mark my weekly out? Previous week, Sunday to Friday close. Current week, sorry, previous week, Sunday to Friday close. Current week from Sunday's open. All right, 800 break coming. 100 lot here. Anything beyond this is an absolute bonus. Look at the hourly. Yes, but boner time because we built it out right. And I don't know. Someone yesterday said to me the hourly was bearish. Someone in chat tried to fight me yesterday saying they thought this was bearish. I hope that you've learnt. Oh, where have we just gone? No way. Did we just get Confluence of that? Right? This isn't about my ego. It's about if you're trying to convince yourself that that's bearish, you are not reading charts correctly. You need to go back to the drawing board and understand what's plausible. This doesn't become bearish until this happens here, really. Right? Because that's the breakout, right? Breakout, bullish structure, grind, failed breakdown, perfect move for bulls to get engagement for this drive. It's doing everything. This is actually a nice market this week. It's a really nice market. Very good for August. All right, here we go. 800 break. 9's left. All right, so 8. Let's make sure I've got this lined up right. What did we say? Top of this box. You've got to get out my way so I can see this box, please. Make sure this is accurate. It's not that accurate. This is the level. 814s. That's the top of the box. And through this, 870 is the old point of control. We're very thin when we break 29.9s. I don't expect us to get through there, but you just never know. I'm expecting a pretty big pullback. Right, what's happened here? We've gone into positive gamma, haven't we? All right, so we went neg gamma momentarily on the speech, and they went, no, we're saving this. We went neutral, we went positive, and now we're in positive expansion above the call walls, and look what's happening. All right, dealers are getting forced to buy the underlying asset, so we're getting into this huge grind. Now at some point I'd expect to move here to wash everyone out and then they make their decision, but what we do now is this node now flips, and that's key. All right, the level here is 70s, under 70s. Bears take control here. All starting to get a little bit stuck here on that 800. I'm getting ready to take this off if we don't break back above 90s right now for my last little tiny guy. All right, I'm out. That's it. Done. Finished. Thanks very much. Kaboom. Nothing else to do here, folks. I am not interested in anything else. I'm interested in getting off these screens now and going away on Friday. People won't believe me that we just got that trade. I'm telling you. Watch Twitter say, there's no way you just risked as little as that to get it. I did. I risked this blue line. All right. That's exactly what I did. That was a 20R trade. People won't believe me, but it was. That's what it was. Took 3 goes at it, but it was. Mate, you're rocking my account. I passed my first eval and made some good profit on the cash. Thank you very much again for your guidance. Have an awesome birthday and dinner on me, Arnie. Hey, mate. Very kind of you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. TP'd all into 790s, 170 banger. Hey, Tyson. All right, if you guys are going to stick around, this is what you're watching, right? So I forget who identified the buyers at the top when I said you're right, but they're not trapped yet. What you need to think about is, can these sellers, remember these sellers are still caught, these purple sellers, right? If we're going to move even for a pullback, you are going to need this, right? You need these buyers stuck and these sellers in control. And remember, this move here is counter trend. There's nothing to say that has to happen. If they want to keep moving high, they keep moving high. I'm now done with it. I might look at this, you know, when I get to the desert and see it at 30,000 and laugh. Yeah, should we do some giveaways before I go? I've also got to do the newsletter or get it as close as possible. Feel like the buyers aren't done here. I mean, look, they're trying, but like a pullback, it would be very reasonable. If they go sideways, we can get a pit, can't we? Even on the low time. So if we go sideways like here for a while, right? This would be a pullback in time. So they digest that move by doing this instead of doing this. It's plausible. Well, we've hit the main targets. The low hanging fruit is this red box. The only thing left would be, this would be a standard deviation move from the open. All right, from here. All right, that'd be a full standard deviation move. This would be a full standard deviation move. All right. Yeah. That happened, like, the chances of that are not that frequent. The full standard deviation move for the whole week would be up here, right? This is the level we put in on Sunday open. So, you know, maybe they give you an extra 100 points, but the probability is gone, right? Remember, we wanted, how many of you, be honest, I really want to know, how many of you took the long down here that I called and couldn't get in because it wouldn't come back, just like yesterday? How many of you got this whole move? Right, it's plausible some of you got it. That's what I wanted today. That's what I'm trying to get better at executing. You got it. Nice, Doug. Yeah, some of you got it. Killer work, guys. Like, fantastic work. If you want to hold this like for 900s, you know, certainly you guys who are long from down here, that is a much easier hold, isn't it, to try, because you can afford this to pull back here and go again because you're positioned well. I can't really afford that. All right, that's why, and we went over this in Discord yesterday. Entry is so key. If you bought this, you could have rebid that without stopping out 2 times like I did, right? You could have bought this. That's an ad. Your core average is down here. We break back over, maybe even take a break long there, and you trim some into here, and maybe your average is now here, right? It's a very, entry is important. People think it isn't important. It's really important, especially for day trading. It's you got more wiggle room on a swing, but it is important for day trading. Okie doke. Let me see how many likes we got. You missed the entry at 502. I mean, as long as you join, I mean, same here, right? But as long as you join afterwards, you get a piece of it. Right, let's get these likes up. There's about 1,000 of you in here that have not smashed the thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up on the stream, and we'll do some giveaways here. I've got a few different things we can give away. How do I determine what the move of the day, long or short, would be for the open? I don't determine what the move will be. All right, it's very different. I create thesis around high probability trade areas. So, for example, today we don't really want to be a buyer up here at supply, but the overall narrative was higher because the structure, the daily, the hourly, etc., are moving higher. So what we need is a retest of a key area, which is here, value area low. Once we held that, all right, we're looking for a rotation to here. And if we break above this area, then we can expand. Instead of being in a rotating market, we go into expansion up to red block. Pretty accurate, that red block, isn't it? Funny that. All right, so it's just understanding. It might have been, right? I had no guarantee that we'd come up here. We could have come up here and failed, which is why my stop was tight, right? Because that would have just been a rotation of yesterday. We could have done this all day. I don't know that the breakout comes today. I'm not Nostradamus. All I can do is try and play key areas and position and take profits at key areas and then hold runners, hoping, all right, not hope as in like, oh, I pray that I'm right, hoping that they will go, and if they don't, we manage the risk on them, right? Not hopium, just more like giving them a chance to work. Yeah, I never know 100% what's going to happen. Let's just be clear about that. No one does. Anyone that tells you they know all the time is full of shit. They don't. We never know. Right, you're into that key level, those sellers, right? You're here right now. So these sellers need to take control, which means they want to reject 770. Now, if they come back inside, as long as they stuff into 88s, then the trade's valid, right? So you might already be in this short. If they poke up here and fail, then you're looking for this fill down here towards 702. So there is like 100 points here, basically, or 80 points. As long as they stuff 87s, there's a reprice down towards 700s available. You do have shorts below you stuck, just so you know, right? They did short. They were early on the session. And remember, there's no guarantee that this doesn't go higher. So what you're playing right now, if you're going to play this, is what I say is the hardest trade in the book. It is the pullback of the higher time frame. So you're trying to short lower time frame for the higher time frame pullback. Now, anyone who was in that Discord lesson yesterday afternoon after the close, this is what we were talking about. Harder, a much harder trade than looking for confluence of what everything wants to do in one go. Can I share my setups of all the charts? Yes, I can. I mean, I actually went over this with a friend yesterday, so I can show you an actual picture of it, and then I can explain what you're looking at. All right, that's my setup. All right, so Bookmap, execution. All right, so these are both order flows. All right, 5 minute, 1 minute with my flow zones, naked. Okay, with CVD, flow zone CVD. Bookmap. Right, and here we have ES, SPY, QQQ, MAGS, Soxal. At the bottom, I normally have VIX. The last few days I've had NVIDIA because it's just become important on the market. This is the screen that you see. So this is the streaming screen. Then this is the M5, H1, daily. Yeah, that's it. Right, LVN got rejected there on that little shove back in. It didn't get quite high enough to 90s, but this short's starting to play out. And your targets here are basically between 40 and 700, right? For those of you who were looking for the short, you've got to respect these levels, all right? So if you took the break or you took this little tap here, these are your targets. You are not thinking about this whole move. You are thinking about covering most your position here, right? If they fail under here, then you can think about more. But this is just a pullback. It's nothing more than that. What kind of computer do you have? It's one I built. I genuinely can't remember all the specs, but I built it, I don't know, like 18 months ago. And I'm running different tabs on the desktop app. You mean for TradingView? Yeah, it's just desktop. It's the app. Yes. My stomach is rolling. I'm hungry. All right, so there's your TP into that blue box. All right, you see there's a first reaction off that blue box. You've got to be paying yourself if you were short side into that. Just watched another streamer, won't say their name. They tried shorting from 680 to 700 and blew all their accounts. Yeah, I mean, it's the main reason the market wanted to move up because people can't read what's happening in front of them. I don't understand how you blow up if you short 680 to 700 though. I mean, this is what I find weird. Like, if you tried shorting there and it failed, you should be stopping out, right? If you didn't stop, you're a wally. If you added, you're also a wally. That used to be me. This, back in the day, this was me, folks. Short again, move my stop higher, complete denial, add to loser, blow out. Market comes back to my entry and I'll sit there and be like, I knew I was right. No, you weren't, you idiot. You were wrong. You just won't admit it. Right? That was me. I only say that, like, that was legit. That was me. I did that for fucking years in small caps. Couldn't learn the lesson. Didn't matter how many times my hand got burnt. I could not learn the lesson of the black swan that went. I used to get absolutely smoked in it. And it took me a lot of money expense to learn the lesson. And it actually, do you know what it took? It took, what's his name? Brian. He was a pro gamer. Let me find it. I've still got the message. I look at it sometimes as a reminder. Brian Lee. All right. It took I'm not going to share the whole conversation with you, but it took a message with Brian Lee, an exchange with Brian Lee, for me to realize, like, mate, you're a fucking melt, Alex. You're an absolute idiot. Get your life in check. And that bollocking kind of worked. It wasn't even bollocking. It was just a bit of tough love, and it helped. It really helped. Pro game of what? I can't remember. Look him up. I mean, he's a very, 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 very good trader, but he was also a professional gamer. I forget what, some strategy game. Clive Smith, biggest lesson of the week for me: eat stops. Yeah, man, eating stops. It's good trading, mate. Once you realize that's good trading, you will be be okay with it, right? Once you realize why you don't show at top now, just buy alongside trade. Don't understand what you're saying. Sorry, sentence doesn't make sense. What did he teach me? He basically criticized my, and rightly so when I say this, he criticized my my stop management. Basically said, like, you don't have a stop management. I'd win, like, honestly, with small caps, I'd go on like 30, 40-day win streaks, and then a black swan would blow me out because I got overconfident, I'd over leverage, and I would not take a stop. I just convinced myself, hey, this company's a piece of shit. It's up 500%. It's got so many ways of diluting. This is unprecedented. It can't keep going, but the truth is it can keep going. It absolutely can keep going. And that used to happen over and over again. And I'd fight with the tape instead of just being like, hey, I'm wrong. Take the stop. You can always get back in. Once I realized that, it became much easier. Who you calling a peaky blinder over there? Or Chihuahua? You calling me a peaky? By order of the peakies, eat your fucking stops. Thanks, Piggy. Appreciate it, mate. That's very kind of you. What made you start respecting stops? I think that just the realization that taking a stop is not bad trading. That's why if you do my course, I talk about how you need to reward yourself. We can get into a psychology lesson here if you want. We can go over it. We are, especially in Western civilization, obsessed with this idea of always being right. We all have egos, and we have this narrative. I've talked about it before, of win at all costs, Lombardian ethic, if you ever go and look that up, right? Especially in America, Lombardian ethic. Look at your politics right now, look at any comments from coaches, right? It's very, very much win at all costs. If that's drilled into you from a child, right, then in your head, losing equals bad. Losing equals poor performance. Losing equals self-punishment. So if we are trading today, example, Alex trades here, right? If I decide that me taking a stop there twice equals me being an idiot, me being really bad, or let's say I don't even take the stop. If I decide the trade's going against me, right, and I start fighting that trade, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to take the stop there. I'm not going to lose. My ego's going to win. I'm not willing to stop out here. I'm not willing to take a stop here because I need to be right. And this market does this, then I blow up, and then I cry myself to sleep, and I think, what have I done? Okay. Once you realize that me or you or whoever defining risk and taking that stop there is not bad trading, it's not losing, it's very good risk management. All right. It's not losing. Once you reframe that to being like, that's not losing, it's good risk management. That's what changes. You go from being like unwilling to take it to being like, I'm happy. How many times do you see me take stops on stream, guys? All the time. It frequently takes me 2 to 4 attempts to get moves like this because we don't know that this is not going to do this. It can collapse. So we risk tight against key levels. All right. And when it goes, it goes, and it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't work and I stop out there, no harm done. That is easy to get back. Even if I decided today I was going to risk down here, that is an easy win for me to get back. I can manage that. What I can't manage, all right, is a tilt down to here, right? That's a problem. It's not just a problem on this day, it's a problem the next day when I come back. On Friday, it's a real problem because you've got to spend all weekend crying yourself to sleep, right? So you have to just reframe everything in your head to be like, hey, taking a stop isn't losing. Taking a stop is good risk management. If you can create some form of dopamine hit, this is a really good example. What day was it this week? Was it Wednesday? I think we barely traded Wednesday. It was basically a flat day. If you got to the end of Wednesday, right, and you were either tiny red, all right, or flat, or whatever it was, and let's say you'd taken 2 stops, or you'd taken 3 stops, or maybe it was just 1 stop, maybe you didn't trade at all, and you looked at your score sheet on how you traded, and you were like, well, I stuck to my process, I took my stops, I didn't overtrade, I didn't oversize, and you are able to reward yourself for that, you are way, way, way more likely to have a hockey stick moment in your career of trading, right? If you look at your scoreboard and be like, I made 50 grand that day across 50 accounts, which I traded because I slung 10 minis and I got lucky and I was actually in like 90% of drawdown and I almost blew up. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fact that my P&L's high. Well, if you do that, you are on a fast track to never making it, right? And that's the difference. That is literally the difference. You either learn to manage risk or you never do this as a career. You might get lucky once. You won't get lucky twice. All right. Some people, some traders, especially young guys, they get lucky once. Crypto bros, etc., etc. You won't get lucky twice. You won't. All right. You will get unlucky many, many, many times. So can you control the risk? My previous week value area high has been wrong. No offense. None taken. But for me, it's not wrong. Sorry. Because I can see it on the screen. There it is. And if it's so wrong, then why did we respect my 680 level? Okay, so no offense taken, but I'm comfortable that I have a decent ability to draw out these levels. When I started trading, I did options. I turned 20k into 120k in 3 months, and then I lost it all in the 4th month. There you go. No risk management. That's very, very common. Do I have an opinion about what Michael Burry is warning? I mean, look, there's validity to what he's saying, but he's been calling for it forever and ever and ever. And then he came out yesterday saying, well, it's just my position at AI is actually just a hedge. Oh, that's a different tone. It's a very different tone. I think that, honestly, I think the market's going to break higher. I had this conversation with my old man this week. He's desperate to short it. I think the liquidation event on Leopold was probably enough of a reset that's going to allow this market to break higher in Q4. Do I think there's problems in the market? Yeah. But I think there's too much resilience. It's too crowded on the short side. I think we've got a chance of breaking out when no one is expecting it. And then maybe midterms are normally rocky. September is normally a down month, especially in midterms. It's normally a down month anyway, and midterms are normally down. But this year hasn't really followed the monthly routine on seasonality. Next year we could be in trouble, but we'll see. We'll see. Do I buy or sell? Both? I don't know what you mean. Are the buyers protecting the top of the blue box? So we have failures from sellers. No one wants to. These sellers down here are still stuck, right? We can't get under them at the moment, right? So is why that blue box, I said you've got to cover into there. Now what you're starting to see is the pullback finish. Now sellers will need to defend 86 to 90s, right? But if buyers start holding the bid between over 70, then you're going to create liquidity between 70 and 90. All right, so there's going to be a battle in here where sellers want to defend. We've drawn it out a few times. Let me just draw it here to make it sense. Sellers will want to defend this, right? So they're going to want to try and do this move here. Buyers are trying to say, hey, you failed to break down here, right? And if we get back inside here, we're going to look for this move. Remember, this is just a pullback. I did talk about this. This is just, if you're short here, it's why you must respect this. It's just a pullback. There's no guarantee that we can rotate here. There is much more probability that they can do this move because the higher time frame wants to move up. It's not to say that I'm going to be bidding here today. We bid here, we wanted to bid here. I don't really want to bid here. You manage your risk as you see fit. But this move is much more probable. Why? Well, what do we go over all the time? What's the H1 doing? H1's in breakout. What's this? Pullback candle on the H1. So maybe this bar finishes an inside bar, right? Maybe it finishes an inside bar. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just a pullback and it expands in one go. Maybe it finishes an inside bar and the next bar breaks out, right? But we're not really bearish in this move until we confirm that this is a failed breakout. Maybe you can argue underneath 680s that we can be bearish of range again because this could be a failed breakout and then we could see pressure. Do you see the difference? All right. So if I was going to draw this out for you, I go over this all the time, but you have to understand multi-time frame structure. It's really important. Right. This is what the H1's done over the last few sessions. I'm just going to talk about literally the last 2 or 3 sessions. Right. This is H1. Right. We're up here. That's what H1's done. So in here today, to time this, what did we want to see? I'll do it level with it. Right? We wanted to see that move there. Yeah? So this is H1. This can be M5 or M1, whatever you want. So once we come up here, what do we expect when we're overextended? Expect a pullback, maybe a 2-leg pullback, right? So if H1's gonna, if H1 is gonna do this move here, and it still holds this, we're still expecting higher high, right? Higher low, higher high. So what we're gonna have here, something like this. When this finishes, we don't know where this finishes, but we'd expect it to protect here. We're gonna look for this. And let's make this make sense for you again. What happened at the lows? Think about the lower time frame that I just drew out. Right? What happened at the highs? Pullback. What do we expect? Hold of this, higher high, right? H1 pullback, H1 expansion, H1 pullback, H1 expansion. Yeah? It's just making that make sense. Where did I draw it? Up here somewhere. Right? It's the same, right? It's literally, it's what I've just drawn for you. And if you're in Discord, we did this lesson again yesterday with Scott, I think it was. All right, so that is the level which we said sellers need to reject, 90s. This is the level that buyers will now want to bid, 70s. And we just talked about that 3-4 minutes ago. 70 to 90 will now probably be rotated because if I'm a buyer, I'm protecting that. And if I'm a seller, I'm protecting that. And the battle is now this. And I don't want to be a buyer up here, really. All right, because the RR is not as good as it. These are good RR areas. This is not a great RR area. But my expectation is the market can potentially do this today. All right, let's go through. Hopefully that's helped. I'll read the last few questions. Maybe you guys can get these likes up a bit because I do want to do a giveaway. We've got to get well over 1,000 likes. We're not there yet. There's at least 700 of you not hit the like button. Alex, do you only use New York sessions when charting? No, I look at other time frames. I always look at overnight value. It's just that if we've traded inside, if overnight value is inside previous day's value, I'm less interested in it. If we've expanded overnight value, I often mark it out. What part of what Brian said really hit home for you? Like I said, he criticized me for not having a walk away level, for not being willing to take stops, for not having a max loss on the day, for not having at the time an automatic shutdown from the broker. And he was completely right to do that. When I say criticize, not like he shouldn't have said it. If I was him, I would have gone even harder at me. Leopold was a blip. I don't think it was a systematic pivot. I didn't suggest it was a systematic pivot, but what it did was reset the market enough to have liquidity exchange hands and run people out that we can now probably move higher, right, before we collapse. Because liquidity's shifted hands. We think a lot of leverage came out of the market when that happened, not just his, lots of leverage. Alex, candle by candle reasoning is not good enough. Please give me a signal part. Yeah. What are your thoughts on 24-hour stock coming? I don't have any. It's just another way to take money out from people. But it won't make much of a difference. The volume will be done in New York Stock Exchange session. Have I spent much time in Yucca Valley? Yeah, I have. I've been there quite a lot. The ego speech hit hard. Good. I'm glad. Hopefully, next time you're being that way, you'll remember it, and it will stop you putting more risk on and get you out of a trade. How did you get long in New York low today? Just like yesterday. I find it so hard. I didn't, mate. I'm not. I didn't get long down there. I waited for it to come back. It didn't come back. I wanted to get long down here. It didn't come back for me. It's just like yesterday. It just ripped away. Once we saw absorption at the lows, right? Delta flipped and then it just ripped away. I was waiting for a pullback. This was the first opportunity I had to have the pullback. Would I have preferred it down here? Absolutely. But I didn't get long the lows. Guys in Discord guys here probably got long the lows. I didn't get it, unfortunately. I haven't seen Mags this strong in a long time. Yeah, I mean, they've been due it, man. They've been due it. We've been going sideways a long time to pull back. Remember, semis took over this whole year. They took over. We're now rotating and repositioning money. And look at the 70s to 90s. Look, 70s to 90s, 70s to 90s. That's the battle now. Thank you for another awesome week and guidance. Happy birthday, mate, and a great holiday. Take care. All have a good weekend. Hey, thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. Aaron, yeah, if you go, it wasn't even a video, mate. It was just a discussion. If you go to the new student questions in Discord, it's there. Did I disable the buy and sell signals? Yeah, I did just while I'm testing this out. I can put them back on if you want. It's just that it felt a bit polluted while I was trying to get everything going. But there you go. I mean, it agreed with me. Buy on the flow zones today. All right, it just felt a bit busy while I'm trying to like test all these other indicators at the same time. That's all. Thanks, Arizona. Appreciate it. I started joining from the beginning of the week. Eating the stops is the best learning. Your amazing thesis and attitude towards stop losses has been really helpful. That's great to hear, man. That's great to hear. Alex, I get your course the moment I secure second payout. Really gutted channeling here. Thank you, mate. I look forward to working with you. Do they rebalance semis in September? I'm sure they will, yeah. Thoughts on end of year BTC price? Where are we trading at now? I sold a ton of it on iBit on this move into 80. It really depends if we get some FOMO rally step in. Look, we've come up to a key area, so I will tell. Like I even posted it on X. I said like I've sold some of my position into this because this move's huge. I remember I'm long from down here. This is a crazy move. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. And look where we've moved into. Right, key level. Now, there's two things that can happen. We pull back and we hold and have another go at it and build out this. We poke through it and fail. We poke through it and base and go again. If we start breaking through here, I do wonder if you get retail chase, because I reckon most people miss this, because most retail don't see these patterns here. Right, they don't. There's the undercut. There's the higher low. That's the compression. That's the turn on. So if we break out, I wonder if we get a Q4 volume push into this and then a giant failure, which is why I've trimmed some. I don't think, I'm trying to remember, I don't think we've finished. Have we finished the bear market? Have we deleted all my things? Is this the wrong one? Maybe it's on here. There we go. How long are these? One year. How long has this been since peak high? Delete that so I can see it. Oh. Well, maybe. Maybe. Well, we are at the year point. It might be it. This might be it. This might be the end of the bear cycle. It might be it. Statistically speaking, it's what we normally do. That's a year pullback. That is a year pullback. That is a 1 year pullback. Okay, so it's possible that we're at the end of this cycle, which means I am positioned absolutely perfectly. What do we normally do at the end of the year cycle, though? We probably take a while to build out. Yeah, I think we'll get a retest. I think we're at least at the absolute minimum get a retest down here. Somewhere in here. And then we can see if we do want to bid it again. There we go. Okay, failing 90s. Buyers failed to hold the 70s. So sellers successfully protected 90s there. They will need a breakdown and a new low down here. If they do that, then I'd expect this to be filled in. And that could be a bigger two leg if they do that. Again, I wouldn't be thinking of selling beyond this. And I don't want to be a buyer anywhere near up here, like I said today. The edge is gone. This is the cheap buy. It's gone. Right, are we there yet? We need another 18 likes, team. I did my own pre-market plan today and every day thanks to your teachings, but I still hesitate to execute often. I see the setup, but I don't trust it. Any advice? Start getting in, mate. You've acknowledged that you don't trust it. So what you've now got to do is just start putting risk on. All right, so do it with sim, do it with prop, do it with however you've got to do it. Start putting risk on. So define your risk first before you hit that buy button or sell button. Define your risk so you know, hey, this is what I'm risking on the trade, and then just start getting in. Once you get comfortable with what you're going to lose, you need to make peace with what you're going to lose on a trade. You have to assume you're going to lose the trade that you put on, right? You have to assume the trade you're putting on is going to be a loss. Once you make peace with that, you will start putting risk on. All right, into this zone, you must be covering now. Anyone that took that 90 rejection or took the break back below 70, 90 rejection or break back below 70, you must be covering in this zone. I wouldn't expect it to become lower than 700. If you got very lucky, you're going to get down into here. But I would be out most of my position here if I was you. I'm done for the day, like we said. Happy birthday. The world's a better place. Hey, that's very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Very kind words. Get out of it. No. Get out. All right. Get out of it. She just wants to be famous. So famous.
Oh.
Yeah, all right, I get off. She's saying like we're going on holiday. Okay, I'm out. All right, let's pull this winner. She's like, can we go, please? Let's set this up. What have I got to give away here today on a Friday? What can we give away here on a Friday? What should we do, team? I think we'll do a Lucid account. I'll make sure I've got one first before I say that. Have we got any to give away? There we go. All right. What I'm going to give away is a Lucid daily end of day. Oh, God. Just looked up at the stream. Look at that. Well, we're going to have to do something else because we haven't set this up yet. When you guys calm down, we can do something. All right. What we're going to type in, because you guys otherwise won't be entered, is Lucid. All right. Lucid. We're going to type Lucid in for your chance to win a Lucid. What's it called? Lucid daily end of day 25k. That's what we're giving away. Please just type it once. Please don't hammer it. Oh, what's melting? Something's got to be melting. Whoa, semis. They dropped the 120s. All right, so they're coming into the 115s on semis. That's what's pulling this down fast. All right, I would probably be all out of this if you were short in this move into this node. I would be all out of this. That's a very extended move, and semis likely to catch a bid here at 115s. So be done with this if I was you. If we trade under value, you can think about something else, but I would probably be done at least 90% out. I would expect this to rip back up if semis find a bid at 115 here. What a trade that was for low-hanging fruit. Incredible. All right, give you guys a minute. Do you know what's bonkers? 22 hours ago, I put this on my X. That was there for you guys. 23 hours ago. Nice long focus on NQ. Clear plan to stick to. Played out nice. Just hasn't come into 680 yet. We'll see if we get up there in the PM and if the squeeze starts 800 viable. That was yesterday. It was there for you yesterday. Nvidia's rolling with these semis. They don't want to hold. It's interesting. Semis still into 115s. All right, should pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Man, I think you've won before. I recognize this name. Rexup. Rexup. Are you here, Rexup? Nice, man. All right, email please, info@flowzonetrader.com, info@flowzonetrader.com. Please send me that email. I will get you set up. Yeah. No worries. Just screenshot of you logged into YouTube. You want a members only? We can do a members only Apex giveaway. Here, so here we go. Channel members only. We'll do one of those. All right, just type FZT if you're a member. If you're not a member, there's no point typing it. You won't get entered. But if you're a member, we do a member only giveaway on a Friday. I'd be very, very careful hanging on to a short here, folks. I mean, if you're lucky, they start popping and failing 720. I'm just watching these 115s on the semiconductors. They're starting to flush it. Oh, what happens if we break lower? What's the next level? Back to those 113s again. Have you guys done it yet? All right, let's pick this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hemorrhagia. I don't know what that is. Opate pH. Hemorrhage. I think I'm saying that right. OP8 pH. Yeah, nice. All right. Apex count on the way to you, sir. You know the score. Email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. Screenshot of you logged into YouTube. You're welcome, no worries. Look at this rotation. Look at this over here. Just semis just getting nuked, man. Absolutely. Once they lost this, that was it. That is very aggressive selling down here. Semis are in absolute free fall right now. This thing's getting destroyed. Back down to previous day value area high already. If you let go of this, you're going to rotate yesterday's value. I'm very surprised that they want to do this into the weekend, but there we go. Maybe that was just that rebalance is all they needed. I thought this move might come next week. Either way, I'm done for the day and getting out of here. 10 years ripping. Yeah, I did just see some comments on Financial Juice. Where was it? Citi Global, head of macro asset allocation. We took our underweight exposure off in the treasuries after Besant announcement. We bought some gold and we're already short dollars. Well, that said, hold my beer. That's the line in the sand, no? Hold my beer, it said. So next level now, we can get rid of that. And they can hold a bid there if they want. Might come for a retest of this. And I tell you what, if that does break, it's problems. It is problems. All right, folks, I'm out of here. What would I do for the rest of the day? I don't know, really. Not a whole lot. This is flipped back now. Back under it. If you're going to play rotations on a Friday, you would want them to sell this now on a return in and rotate value. I would be careful about doing much down here at all today. All right. I think that's the only play at the moment if you're going to play a rotation. If you're going to be a bull, I think we've had the move. That was the move. I don't think there's much in this now. That's your failure to break higher. So I think it's rotation with an intraday edge to bears if they sell that, and that's it. And it would be like TP1, TP2, TP3. I don't think there's anything else to play. I think that's your move today. That's what you've got to look at. It's that or nothing now. I'll see you guys Monday. I'm going to do the newsletter now. Oh God, we basically did the whole stream, didn't we? I'm going to do the newsletter now. It won't have, as a warning, the value areas will be incorrect. Okay, so you are going to have to move those value areas. The targets for next week should be there or thereabouts, but obviously I'm doing this newsletter without knowing where we're closing and where the value areas are. So just be aware of that. All right, so you're going to have to do a little bit of work yourself this week. Peace and love, everyone, and I will see you Monday morning. All right, trade safe for the afternoon. Take care. Remember, we've had the low-hanging fruit. Don't overstay your welcome. Take care.